What's up, guys? So I worked out the kinks in my homemade incubator. I'm gonna let you know how. I'm gonna let you know exactly what went wrong and how I fixed it. What's up, YouTube? It's Baker. Welcome back to Blue Line Morphs, guys. And you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. We are a new ball python breeding channel. I have an Instagram channel, blue_line_morphs, and a Facebook page, Blue Line Morphs. Definitely hit me up on there. Definitely DM me on there, man. All my videos are pretty much unedited. It's just me talking about my journey, me kind of talking about things I learned along the way, try to help everybody out, especially us newbies, us new guys. Completely transparent. I tell it like it is, and that's just kind of how I roll. That being said, guys, it is just about 1 o'clock in the morning for Wednesday. Work's been real busy the last couple of days of the election. By the way, regardless of who you're voting for, whatever your political affiliation is, I hope you guys went out and voted today. It's the one thing we have as for like our civic duty, man, as Americans. Well, if you're not in America, whatever. But for us, I hope you guys voted. Either way, whether it's for Trump, whether it's for Biden, wherever you stand, I hope you got out and voted today. With that being said, I literally got home, walked right into my Reptile room, checked in everybody, see what's going on, right into making my video for Wednesday. I try to stick on that schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Loving all the feedback that I'm getting on Instagram, especially for new people that are just starting to subscribe to the channel, check the channel out. Sometimes I feel as though my videos are... look at other channels, people have a lot of editing and they have music and all this other stuff, and I guess that's kind of, eventually maybe I'll get into some of that stuff. That's just not my style, man. I really wanted to keep this channel like the working man's channel. I just shoot the shit with you guys, talk shop as I like to say, show my ups and downs, the highs and lows, and that's what I really like about my channel. That's what I try to do. And to be honest with you, it's easier for me, especially with my hectic work schedule, so forth and so on. But anyway, I've had a lot of feedback recently on that and kind of like my style of my channel. Really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate all the love I went through today while, I'm not gonna lie to you, sitting on the couch at work watching the election polls on Fox and switching back and forth between Fox and CNN and everyone else. I went through all my DMs. I had like 45 in the request folder, I guess, on Instagram. I really appreciate it. A lot of love, a lot of support. Thank you so much. Quick update around here. Same thing, pups are getting bigger. I really prefer these Norwegian rats over these ASFs. I hate those little demons. That being said, my Coral Glow Black Pastel Trick Mojave, the hell is she? Coral Glow Black Pastel Trick Mojave male is currently locked up with my pastel, that big pastel girl. Having a lot of success with that big spider girl, that big pastel girl. Hopefully he'll eat again. He's been eating every single week for me. He's gonna eat again, and I'm gonna try to get another shot at the title with that orange dream fire girl. She's bowl wrapping. My big normal girl besides Big Mama's bowl wrapping. So I'm off next week, guys. I have a bunch of snakes coming in, so stay tuned for those videos. I'm really happy about that. I am Mike, Red Line Pythons, is hooking me up with another male. I'll tell you what it, guys, is. It's a Puma, your Yellow Belly and Spark. Really excited about that. Gonna put that to a few of the girls I have behind me. Probably the Bumblebee, the Banana Entry Pastel, lesser girl. Anyway, let's get right into this, guys. If you follow my channel, I've had my issues my first 2 clutches, right? So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about how I fixed my incubator. Now I am going to buy a professionally made incubator, probably from Sea Serpents, their hot box, hopefully the bigger one. But I am a stubborn Mick through and through, so I really want to get this thing working. And you have some big time breeders, guys that I really respect, that use homemade incubators. So there's no reason why I can't get mine going. So I want to work out the kinks, and I think I finally did. So if you're going to be making homemade incubators, I really want to make this video to show you how I screwed up. So I'm going to go through both my clutches, what went wrong in the clutches, what I changed in the clutch, what still went wrong with the clutches, and how I figured out how to fix this. So first and foremost, guys, I'll probably post a picture on Instagram tomorrow before this video comes up of my incubator. But essentially, literally, I use it as my rack here. That's what I have my tripod for my videos on top of. But it is an old wine cooler, man. An old wine fridge, I guess you could say. It's about 2.5, 3 feet tall by 2 feet deep, with a big old door on it that swings out, 2 shelves in the middle, and a glass door on the front. Down the back, I have heat tape about that big that runs through the whole entire thing, hooked up to a Helix thermostat. And that's how I bought it. I bought it for $100, $120, whatever it was. And the guy said, hey, make sure you put a fan in it. So with my first clutch with Luna, my white diamond, I had This isn't the exact tub. This is how I transport my pups that I buy from Sal. There's none in there. They're all fed off. Good. So I had pretty much the same exact tub. I had the thermostat set to 88 degrees, and I bought this fan. Okay, this is 120 millimeters wide by 38 millimeters deep. It's from AC Infinity. Okay, I bought this off Amazon. It's like $25. Got it delivered. Put it in the incubator, circulate the air, let it go, let it rock, let it crank. Only has one speed. You just kind of turn it on. The temperature inside kind of fluctuated on me, right? This is when Rob was with me, and he had his pie clutch in here, and both our eggs dried up. Now, when I had these tubs, I was not using the press and seal. So I had the vermiculite in there, nice and wet, no press and seal with that fan cranking. Ultimately, what ended up happening is my eggs from Luna's eggs got super dried out. Remember, guys? Got super dried out. They ended up dying. They became like hard-boiled eggs. I did that terrible video where I literally cut open a dead clutch because I wanted to kind of learn. Essentially, it was a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. Okay, so maybe they weren't fertile. I left it up to that. Shit happens, especially when it comes to breeding things and stuff like this, especially when it comes to your first season. Flash forward about a month and a half later, Big Mama has her clutch. This time, same thing. I say, okay, I think this big fan here dried out my clutch. So I took the fan out. So I talked to a lot of people that said, you don't need a fan in there, man. As long as you're holding steady temperatures, you're good to go. So with that being said, I had the same exact thing, same exact tub. Guys, if I'm out of it, man, I am so tired, so I apologize. But, whatever. So I had the same tub, no fan. I used the press and seal this time. And obviously, if you follow my channel, I'll go back to my only egg cutting video, which was brutal. I had my issues there. The eggs were overcooked, okay? Easiest way to put it. The reason why is they didn't have a fan in there. Okay, there was no fan circulating the air. So let's take a step back now and talk about my two clutches and what I had issues with. The first issue I had with the first clutch, I was not holding humidity inside the tub without that press and seal. I know some people don't use press and seal, but the fact I did not have press and seal and I had this big fan in here, big, relatively speaking, for the size of my incubator, I dried the eggs out because air was just cranking in there, cranking and cranking and cranking. The second reason is, I'll explain that in a second, but essentially this fan was making my incubator too hot. Okay, cool, dried the eggs out. I was like, you know what, this thing's drying the eggs out. I took it out, put the other clutch in. Once this clutch died, put the other clutch in from Big Mama. Now, without that, without any circulation in here, ultimately what happened is the eggs look good. They started to shrink up a little bit. Again, my first real clutch has survived. Didn't think too much of it. So Kata's moving around. So Kata's doing laps right now. I don't know if you can hear. What the hell is they talking about? So the second clutch, they pipped kind of early. They weren't ready to come out, and the reason was it was too hot in my incubator. Just simply put, without a fan circulating air, I had hot spots. So even though my Helix thermostat, the probe was sitting on the middle shelf, in the middle of the thing, that was reading about 88 degrees. It was directly in the middle. However, if you go to the right side, it was like 104 degrees. Over here was like 95 degrees. Towards the actual tape was like 130 degrees. And then inside the actual egg box, guys, I was getting temperatures of 98 degrees, 102 degrees. The fact that any of these eggs survived is an absolute miracle, man. Absolute miracle, because I had so many different hot spots, so many ranges of temperature, so many hot flares. And if you remember, you go to Racer Reptiles, Rob from Racer Reptiles, he did a video back in April, May, where he smoked his first clutch too, which is essentially my fault in my incubator. Well, he kind of drove it up from Florida too. But anyway, he had one of those little, I forget what they're called. You put them in, right, guys, like this big, and you put them in the thing, and it tells your phone the heat and the temperature and the humidity. Anyway, long story short, he had heat spikes in here. The reason why he had heat spikes in here, no fan circulating. You need a fan in here in order for the incubator to be successful. So flash forward to about a month ago, where my stubborn thickheadedness, I decided I want to get this incubator going. I got this thing in here, and instead of spending $2,000 on like a nice big incubator right now, I'd rather put that into my collection. So what I did is I put this big old fan back in there. Helix thermostat is set at 88 degrees, 88.4 degrees. I put this thing back in there and started monitoring temperatures. Ultimately, what I found was no matter what I did, put this thing in there, the temperature was set at 88 degrees. Next thing I know, it's reading at 92 degrees. It's reading at, 92.8 degrees. So let's say, argument's sake, 93 degrees. the whole thing was reading at 93 degrees. Okay? So I'm like, why the hell is it reading at 93 degrees? So I said, okay, it's reading 5 degrees too hot, maybe because of the fan. So I lowered the thermostat down to about 83 degrees. Temperature's still rocking at like 94 degrees, 93 degrees. I said, what the fuck? So what I did is, I then lowered it to 70 degrees. Let's see what happens. Ultimately, got back up to 93, 92 degrees. So what was happening is my fan, my original fan, this big fan, was literally too big for my incubator, okay? It was cranking out too much airspeed, I guess you could say. Dried out my eggs, right, because I didn't have the press and seal on it. With that being said, the actual temperature of the fan, the fact that I have some sort of mechanism, some sort of mechanical device inside the incubator, was generating its own heat source. So no matter what I set my Helix thermostat at, no matter what I set my incubator at, this fan was going to bring this incubator to 92, 93 degrees all day, every day. Just simply put, because I had another heat source inside the incubator, and that was the fan. So no matter what I set that thermostat at, this is going to bring the temperature up. Okay? So that makes sense to you guys? Pretty much like the ambient temperature inside of the incubator was rising up to 93, 94 degrees just because of the fan. I never took it this far, but I can almost guarantee you guys, if I just put that thing in there and let that rock and set my thermostat at 50 degrees, it would probably read 94 degrees in here, just because this fan is relatively big inside of there. So what did I do? I called up the company. Oh boy. If you guys fall over, I apologize. What the hell's the fan? I called the company up. I ordered the mini one. This is the same company. This is about $12. This fan is much smaller than this fan. Okay, this one is 60 millimeters by 25 millimeters. This is 120 by 38 millimeters. Now with this fan in there cranking and going, my thermostat and my incubator has been able to hold that 88 degrees. Let me put this back in here real quick. Has been able to hold that 88 degrees that we always talk about. Okay, so I'm really happy about that. My only concern is that I dropped my fan from 120 millimeters to 60. I think it's small, right? It's like this big. I don't know if it's going to circulate the air that much. With that being said, I have been using my heat gun, my thermal gun, to check the temperature, and it has been holding steady. But I would like to get more airflow in there. So what I did is they make a fan in between those two that's about 88 millimeters and 25 millimeters thick. So the big one's 120 millimeter, okay guys? And 38 millimeters thick, and then the two smaller ones are 80 millimeters, 25 millimeters thick, and 60 millimeters, 25 millimeters thick. The one I currently have in there is the smallest one, and it's holding true. It's keeping the temperature the way it should have. I have my Helix thermostat set at 88.4 degrees. That fan, because it's so small, is able to circulate the air, and it's not generating its own source of heat that raises the incubator up. With that being said, I do want a little more circulation in there, especially when I have like 3 or 4 egg boxes in there. I'm going to want a little more power. So I did order that slightly bigger fan, the one in between the biggest one that roasted everybody and the smaller one that's really not putting that much airflow out. So with that being said, guys, I believe I solved all my incubator issues. I'm going to get in that fan tomorrow. I'm going to put it in here. Stay tuned on Instagram. I'm going to do a little egg box like experiments to try to figure out, just to make sure I'm 100% good, because I should have some clutches popping out. Not soon, but I mean, my season started, so I got to have all my eggs in a row, my ducks in a row, whatever the hell you want to say. Okay? That being said, guys, that's how I solved my incubator issues. Essentially, just to reiterate, the first clutch, I dried it out. The fan was too big. Made the temperature in the actual thermostat to 82, 83 degrees. Dried that first clutch out. Killed them. Second clutch, even though I put the press and seal on top of that, did not have a fan in there circulating the air. So even though my thermostat said it was reading at 88 degrees, because on that middle shelf in the middle it was reading at 88 degrees, I did have a lot of heat spots in there that I later checked out. We're talking 105, 107 degrees, 94 degrees, no good, too hot, can't have it. Pretty much, I thank God I actually got any surviving snakes out of that clutch, because I pretty much cooked them all. That being said, did my experiment, put the original fan back in there. It was generating its own amount of heat, which brought the ambient temperature in the incubator up to 92, 93, almost 94 degrees, I believe, without even setting my thermostat that high. I actually dropped my thermostat down, like I said, in the 70s somewhere, and it still brought that ambient temperature back up to 94 degrees. Ordered the smaller fan. We're good. Temperature staying steady. However, I don't think there's enough airflow, especially if I put some boxes in there. So I'm going to I ordered the slightly bigger one. But there you have it, guys. I solved my incubator issues. I don't think this incubator is as evil as I thought. So hopefully everything works out. We have one more step to go with the egg boxes. Make sure they're good to go. I have the other fan coming in. I hope that helps some of you guys if you're making some homemade incubators. Fan is very, very important. Make sure the fan's not too big when you start cooking your eggs because it's generating its own source of heat. So learn from my mistakes, guys. Hope that helps you with your incubators. I think I'm good. So we'll see what happens, guys. Listen, be safe, man. It's late. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to bed. Post this tomorrow. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. I really do. I'm loving this channel, loving this hobby, love everybody in it, love all the friends that I'm making. I just had a bunch of my snakes shed out. Stay tuned today. Well, for you guys, I already posted it, but my pastel clown girl, she just shed. I'm going to show her off. I don't give a shit. My channel. What is she doing? So, I'm posting her tomorrow, but you guys know I love this snake. It literally is my logo back here, but she just got fresh out of the shed, man. All right, look how gorgeous this girl is. Pastel clown pied female. So that's just under 1,700 grams, give or take, man. Fresh out of the shed, though. I had to show her off. I was very happy to see her. She hasn't eaten for me yet since I got her about 3 weeks ago, but I kind of got her right in shed. No big deal. She's a gorgeous snake. Love my clown pies. Anyway, guys, appreciate it. Be safe, man. Please remember, always watch your six.